Hi, I'm William. This is The Wine Room. This is Putnam Market. This is Saratoga Springs, upstate New York. And here I'm going to give you my one absolutely sure thing for what's going to happen in 2023. And for once, we're not delving into the intricacies of European winemaking. We're looking at California. We're looking specifically at Sonoma. And we're looking at a decision that was made by the Alcohol and Tax and whatever it is, Bureau, to approve the creation of a brand new American viticultural area. And that will allow this wine to have a different region of origin from this wine, despite the fact that today they have exactly the same origin on the label. Now the origin they have is called Sonoma Coast, and Sonoma Coast really didn't exist when I first arrived in the United States, and it was a creation of the late 1980s, and it was very much the child of the Mr. Cutrer, who owns Sonoma Cutrer, and his problem was the problem we would all like to have. He got a fantastic reputation for his wines made from grapes grown in Sonoma, but they were becoming more and more expensive. They weren't allowing him to get into anything that looked like the mass market, and there was no way that he could use the vineyards which were adjacent to Sonoma and yet put on the label an AVA, a place of geographical origin, to give it the prestige that does, so that it wouldn't simply be called Californian Chardonnay. And so he lobbied really hard in the 1980s, and very successfully, to create, on the borders of Sonoma, an AVA called Sonoma Coast. And the only thing that was the matter with Sonoma Coast as an AVA is that it's absolutely nowhere near the coast. And so all those characteristics which make coastal vineyards so special, and the grapes that they grow so entrancing, and the wines that are made so highly thought after, are simply not available to the vineyards from which this was made, for the vineyards not very far from Napa, as it happens. And so for the last 20 years, these growers like Hirsch here, and many others of the most famous of the Chardonnays and Pinot Noir, which grown on that wonderful Sonoma, really right on the coast by the ocean, the Occidental and all of those sorts of wines. They have finally got approval for the creation of West Sonoma Coast. And of course, if you keep going west, you end up in the Pacific, and it's just before you end up in the Pacific that you'll find the vineyards that this wine uses for grapes. And you will finally see that there will be no reason to associate the very high quality of the vineyards that are really on the coast with the same appellation that you get from wines which are made from grapes grown further inland. And it's another example of how politics and finance influence our understanding as consumers of what it is we're buying when we pick up a bottle of wine and take it home. Cheers.